too much pulling punches, or toe to toe, we're always on the road. Worse or better, we can't stop, we can't stop. 'Cause together we're better off, and we can't.
I don't know if I'm changing over. In the moonlight I can't kill this feeling sober. So I start to come alive. I don't know what starts to control me. I'll let it go, another soul that's underneath. I don't really care about this all. It's the fall that kills me. With our back against the wall, just feed the beast and you'll see. Wait for me. I don't wanna die inside my reality. Wait for me. I don't want your eyes to remember me this way. I feel like that we're getting closer to a brand new night. The past is finally getting over. I really think it's time to say goodbye. I don't know what starts to control me. I'll let it go, another soul that's underneath. I don't really care about this all. It's the fall that kills me. With our back against the wall, just feed the beast and you'll see. Wait for me. I don't wanna die inside my reality. Wait for me. I don't want your eyes to remember me this way. Mama said you're meant to burn as bright as a star among the midnight sky. All the pressure blinded me, but now I see I'm no different from the rest. You said I'd fly away, but my walls have kept me down. Now I'm lost and I'm afraid, and I'm close to hit the ground. You said I'd fly away. You said I'd fly anyway, but I keep on falling.
searching for that open door. Show me proof that there is something more. I just hope I am okay with the choices I make. Maybe then I'll understand. You said I'd fly away, but my walls have kept me down. Now I'm lost and I'm afraid, and I'm close to hit the ground. You said I'd fly away. You said I'd fly anyway, but I keep on falling. But I keep on falling.
And I've been chillin', watching the ocean with you. Baby up with a slow motion crew. And we up in our clouds when people change, but not us. And we just chillin', kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be soaked to the skin in the monsoon. I know she got the good vibes when seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding. And I'll be running, 'cause that's why you're low, low voodoo. Fired up like a wolf on the full moon. And we're stuck in a la la land. The tides will turn without us. And I'll be killing time like I might be a cartoon. Take it in real life like haiku. I know we got the good vibes when pieces fall right into place. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding me up. Play me like a bass guitar, simmer down and mash me up. Tripping like I'm Jimmy at Woodstock. Me up, drive me around in your red Ford. Shivers down my spinal cord. Oh, 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 oh. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding.
get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
It seems like our night is truly going to be full of so much talent. Thank you so much, Natalia. And with that, I will invite the audience as well as our players to go ahead and take their seats.
Ooh, it's getting serious.
We're getting ready to go down onto the pitch and go on to Manfield Night. But for those of you at home who are still a little confused, let's go through some of the rules of Rocket League.
So the big thing about Rocket League, right, is that it's soccer. Actually, you know what, audience? Can anyone raise their hand that doesn't know what Rocket League is? This will be an interesting test. You know what? It seems like everybody knows, but let's explain it anyways. So imagine soccer, right? You have your two little legs, you're able to kick the ball around, and that's great. You have the terrain to work with. But what if we expanded that terrain to not only work with the ground, but gigantic walls, the ceiling, and plus you get to drive a car?
Oh, so instead of kicking the ball with your feet, you're moving around a massive ball with the hood of your car?
Yeah, something like that.
All right, but I'm still trying to score goals, right?
Absolutely, of course. Now, there's plenty of different ways that you can achieve scoring a goal or defending that ball from not hitting into your goal. A typical soccer match has a lot of players. Now, I'm no soccerologist. I don't really know how many there are, but for this game, there's only 3 players at a time. That's going to make things pretty difficult, though, if you want to be a very aggressive team and go straight for those goals all the time, and you might not have your defense available, or if you want to be a very safe team and go full defensive, you got to make that choice. Who's going to be the striker? Who's going to get that ball into the goal? It requires teamwork, communication. It requires studying the game, and these are all big enhancements that allow you to become a better student and elevate your brain skills.
Absolutely. A lot of thinking on the fly, a lot of communication is going to be had between these players as we get ready to go down into this match. I will also say that this is going to be a best of 7. So we will be watching until the first team reaches 4, and we are blazing down onto this field. Some good defensive shots coming out there from Poot. And we're going to see if we can move that back onto Long Beach Poly's side of the field.
This is great so far. Look at the aggression coming out from Long Beach Poly. They have full control of the field thus far, but the goalie defensive style of Milliken is looking great. Poot, though, as you mentioned, Becky, does have the ball control thus far. It's Miss Herrera trying their best to subvert all of them, and they might have the goal! No! Sommerbank was there for the defense.
What a good bit of defense coming through there from Milliken. A very nice save. And it's back to this passing game once again, trying to make sure that with all 3 of those blue players back in those defensive strategies that they're going to be able to hold down the fort. And so far, so good. And now it looks like Long Beach is going to have to be the one to start playing defense.
Keep an eye on Milliken now. They're not having anybody defend the goal until the ball is pretty much near their goal. They're playing full-on offense. They want to get this early score as soon as humanly possible. They're working as a gigantic triangle, but Wasu is there to make sure, okay, I will make sure I will be that primary striker and get through that defense. But Milliken, they are a fortress.
So far, it seems that way. We're down a minute and a half about into this match and still no score to come through.
Yep.
And this is about what you would kind of expect to see. We are starting to see a lot of those boosts come in as well, and at some points you might see a little bit of demolition happening between some of these cars, and that is going to force a little bit of a reset that can allow for aggression to be put into different sides of the field.
Well, now hold on, Becky. What's a demo?
A demo is going to be when you have so many boosts that you're going to run into another one of those vehicles, and you're both going to make a little explosion. We'll be sure to point it out for you in case you need to know what to look for. You can't do that in soccer.
Oh,
and there is that demolition, that little bit of a reset, that breathing room that is going to allow Long Beach to take control of the ball once again.
That's right. Now, that player was only out for a few seconds. In fact, by the time it took for us to explain what a demo was, they've already came back. 2 minutes and 50 seconds left on the clock. The ball has not made progress anywhere near a goal. The offense, the defense, a very well-even machine. Honestly speaking, even in the biggest professional games, we don't really get to see this kind of evenness come through.
It's very true. And now that we're about halfway through this match, what happens if we don't see a goal within this time period?
Well, guess what? It doesn't end. If this is the same exact scoreline when that timer goes down, the game will keep going until one team achieves a goal, and it was so close. Gabe is there to stop it just in time. The defense once more from Milliken has been exquisite. They're making sure they can have full goalie control of the ball, but Whalehart is there to make sure, okay, you're not going to take too much space.
And space is the name of the game right now, trying to make sure that you're in the right place at the right time when that defense goes down for one of these teams. Long Beach, 2 players are ready for the aggression that's coming through, and a very nice cut save coming out from Destin Whalehart right there.
That's amazing there, but Somber Penguin is not it. That's the goal! Beautiful to see! And that's Gabe, Mr. Boxes himself, to get the very first goal of the series.
The first goal, 3 minutes into the match, finally coming through, as you mentioned, from Gabe there. And now the ball, maybe not always in Long Beach Poly's side of the court, but it is going to be the pressure on their side. Right now, the name of the game for them is going to be scoring one more goal and push us into that overtime, or at least a situation where they can take the lead here. So now it's going to be a lot more aggression, trying to make sure that they have that much more calculation, whereas Milliken right now, they can have all 3 members on their side of the board, try to play that defense, but that defense is not going to be enough to stop Whalehart.
Watch the defense right there. The goalie was set up there for Milliken, but all 3 players were so close to the ball, but they were just angles off. That was a great way for Long Beach to find the perfect angle to subvert everything that Milliken had set up. 1-1 now. A minute and 20 left. keep in mind, this is only the first game thus far. Anything could happen. We could see reverse sweeps after this game, but it's a tied game as well. And because it's taken so long to get these first 2 goals, there's a very good chance, Becky, we go to overtime.
Indeed, a little bit of a demo there between 2 players. Aggression being pushed onto Long Beach Poly's side of the field. That minute remaining is starting to look looming as a lot of pressure put onto the Long Beach side of the field, trying to go for those repositions, see where that ball is going to end up when all is said and done. And Boots going to do a nice little save, try to get that reposition, see if we can make this pass, but it's Imus Herrera trying to keep that pressure on.
That's right. 30 seconds now left on my clock. Full on defensive mode from Milliken. They're not even attempting to bring that ball over against Long Beach Poly, but that's not the same for Long Beach themselves. They're doing their best to get that final strike in, to get that final goal and win game number 1.
Oh, a lot of players, a lot of pressure towards Milliken. This is what we're looking for Long Beach Poly. It barely doesn't make it past those post points, and it's going to be a save. 10 seconds coming down. Will the orange side be able to sink it with 5 seconds left on the clock, or will we be going straight into overtime? The air will stop this in 1 for a moment, but we'll be going right into overtime in our first match of the night.
1 goal. 1 goal is allowed for this game. The timer does not tick down anymore. It only ticks up. An endless game could go on all night, possibly, if no one can get a ball into the goal. But this is a test of endurance for both teams right now. We've seen Milliken wanting to go for a very defensive style late into the game. Long Beach, they want to go aggressive. This is their chance to possibly get that second goal and win game number 1.
Yeah, this is one of those moments where I think a lot of the defense that we started to see from Milliken was the quick change in aggression after that last goal had come out, and that's going to be the opening to come through. The moment of aggression is seized. Gabe is going to be the double scorer that brings Milliken home, their first match of the night.
What a great opportunity coming out from Gabe there. Just a tiny little angle being set up there. And again, with 3 players available on your team, you really have to decide when and where and how you want to communicate. Okay, well, do we just want to huddle around that goal, make sure there's no opportunity to get the ball in? Even if you attempt to do so, right, there's always that chance that you may not get the jumps in time. You might not have the right angle. And someone like Gabe, they found the perfect opportunity to find that timing and strike.
And I think there's something beautiful about getting to watch an overtime match. We saw that they actually lost one of those goals because they maybe were being a little bit too defensive. They lost a moment where we really got to see a capitalized moment, and we'll get to see it again here in the replays as we go down into them. I mean, it's one of those moments that reset is sometimes what it takes. That reset of going into overtime to be like, okay, we had a good thing going at the start. We were the first ones to score. So let's see if we can regain some of that energy and have that little bit of a reset that maybe makes you realize, okay, maybe our defensive strategy wasn't working exactly how we wanted it to.
Yeah, and of course, there'll be a tiny loop break in between games too. A great time to kind of recollect yourselves, think of a new strategy going into things. But to go back to Milliken, though, this has been Gabe's game. He was able to get, I believe, every single goal that we saw from Milliken's side. He is the player to watch out for. And honestly speaking, we described what demos were before. You can get all of your little bit of speed going on. You can remove someone like Gabe for just a few seconds, and that might be enough to be a game changer. But we're heading straight into game number 2, and right away, all eyes are on Gabe. An early demo comes out. Wasso is gone, and that means only 2 players are available for Long Beach Poly.
Yeah, quick entry into this match and quick aggression. And we're going to see Woso try to keep that at bay for as long as possible. It's putting a lot of pressure over towards Milliken's side, but the spread from those players is not quite going to be what you want to see as Whaleheart comes shooting right in.
Now you may be wondering, okay, why is he named Whaleheart, right? That's kind of a weird one, right? But the story of it is actually really adorable.
I agree. Whaleheart was telling us that his dad used to have this phrase about having a big heart, and he was like, well, what animal has the biggest heart? a whale.
Oh.
So I'm going to go ahead with the name Whale Heart. We just thought that that was so touching to hear. And now in this next match, it's a lot of pressure once again onto Milliken's side of the board. You'd think that Long Beach would say, hey, we have a point. We've got 4 minutes. Let's play the defensive game and just keep our lead where it is. And they're saying, absolutely not. Let's see if we can get another one and increase this lead.
Look, it's only game 2 and Long Beach Poly is already looking for revenge. They lost game number 1. They want to bring things back to an even series. They have a lot of work to do in order to do so. They don't obviously want to give up in game number 2 just yet. That pressure is down. Somber Penguin attempted to do so. This might be the opportunity. Angles are set up. Great coordination coming out from Milliken. But again, you have to watch out. Someone like Whaleheart, they could have found the prime opportunity, but no. Once again, that ball remains into the neutral field. Oh, maybe not. It hits the backboard. It's so close to hitting a goal, but no. Somber Penguin's going to miss the ball. There's no opportunity.
It was so close. The setup was there. Some of those connections just aren't narrowly making it. A lot of defensive play coming in to make sure that on that rotation it doesn't go poorly for Milliken. And it looks like they're
an
really
open
trying
goal?
to get this focus over, but Poot narrowly isn't able to sink it with that pressure coming in from both sides of the Long Beach players.
Now, keep in mind, though, 3 minutes still left on the clock, and we've seen how much it came close to the wire in game number 1 to get that second goal. I mean, it went to overtime. So that goes to show, where did that come from? Milliken, no defense to be seen whatsoever. A straight open goal. Now, there is a term that we have in competitive gaming called tunnel vision. When you just really, really, really want something that you're not thinking about the rest of it. You want that goal, but you're not thinking about the defense. But that's okay. Lesson learned. This is how you can dial yourself back, assess the situation, and go for the best possible outcome. And that means Milliken, if they have that reset here, they have to get 2 more goals if they want to maintain their series lead, at least for overtime.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's
there it is.
difficult if you're in Milliken's spot in that last one. But hey, this is, as you mentioned, that first step that we need to going into this overtime position for Milliken. 2 minutes 44. We're not even halfway through this match yet, and we're already at the same amount of goals that we saw in the previous overtime match.
Look, they only needed a warm-up for game number 1, right? These players, they've been sticking around for a while, practicing, making sure their comms are great. An early demo comes out, and Somber Penguin's gone for a tiny bit. But again, I think Gabe needs to be the player you need to watch out for. This has been a great showing so far from all of these players. Again, we've seen our fair share of Rocket League overtime. Top-tier professional play. We've seen other schools come out on top, but I will say between never mind.
What a shot from Woso.
Absolutely. I was going to say both of these teams have had some of the best communication in between their players that I've seen thus far, and Long Beach Poly, they are finding perfect opportunities to take advantage of Milliken being away from their goal.
I mean, but this is so hard if you're on Milliken's side,
That's true.
right? Like, those last 2 goals that Long Beach Poly have scored were from more than halfway across the map. And it's so painful to have one of your players really stick back and try to make sure that those are not shots that can be taken. But just as I try to say that was a very close range goal. This setup from Imis Herrera into the sink coming in from Woso. And Long Beach Poly find themselves 4-1. 2 minutes still left. And hey, this is another place where they're saying, you know what? We're ahead enough. We're going to keep with the aggression and see how much we can run with.
They got that buffer room right now. They can go full on aggression. 2 minutes left on the clock. Even a game of keep away against Milliken could be a really good strategy here. Look, Somber Penguin, he wants that revenge. He nearly had the defense for that 3rd to 4th goal. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough. Now, Imis Herrera. Never mind, had the ball control, but right away, Long Beach Poly, they're on top of it. They want to take this ball away from the hands of Milliken.
Yeah, and attempting to do so, but it looks like Gabe's going to have possession for a minute. Unfortunately, pushes it right back over to Woso.
Is it going to hit?
The shot from Whaleheart, who
No.
attempts to get the sink, but that defense is swooping in at just the right moment.
Absolutely there. Full ball control. Was in the hands of Milliken. Now, Woso has been so good about stealing the ball off of the goal. But Poot may have found the opportunity, but once
what
more,
a save.
proper. Reset. No! You could have reset the jumps had they landed on the ball going underneath, but it wasn't enough. That's a clean shot, though, and it goes in! Huge from Somber Penguin! Now they only need 2 more goals in order to match up against Long Beach Poly. And like the others that have come out from Long Beach, this was from across the goal.
I mean, I was literally just about to praise the job that Long Beach Poly was doing of making sure that those shots weren't coming in. They
That's
were
true.
getting the right amount of height to make sure that they were deflecting those goals. And all of a sudden, persistence is key and persistence pays off, as that third goal was all it took for Milliken to get themselves one more and have a shot in this match.
Less than a minute left now on the clock. This is where things get tense. Milliken, they won game number 1, and it looks like it's going to be a long road ahead to get to game number 2. Three goals behind.
Yeah, this is one of those places, Woso getting this goal is going to start to maybe put Milliken in a position where they're just going to have to play a little bit of a tactical game. They're going to have to
Absolutely.
see if, you know, when you're 3 goals behind, only have 50 seconds, maybe this is a place where you're just going to start to communicate with the rest of your team and dissect how you want the next match to go. And this is not even that bad of a place to do it. There have already been the first for the first match.
Unfortunate.
And as I mentioned, trying to be tactical, Milliken says, tactical who? We're going to see if we can be tactical here and now and try to make something happen. But you know who else is trying to make stuff happen? It's going to be Whaleheart.
Yeah, I mean, look at this opportunity being found here. There was an attempted full-on dive in from Milliken into Long Beach Poly's goal, just barely hit the backboard. Immediately on that bounce back, we see Long Beach Poly steal the ball away, and they knew exactly how they wanted to calculate this. This has been super clean from Long Beach thus far. Now, Somber Penguin does go down from the demo. Attempt to go in. Oh, but no follow-up is there. Poot was all alone.
Yeah, that was a little bit rough there, trying to make sure that you have enough layers to get that scuffle underway, and it just wasn't nearly enough. Somber Penguin's going to try and keep away from this goal for as long as possible, but with 6 points, the second match at the end of this airtime is going to go to Long Beach Poly.
A great turnaround from Long Beach Poly. It seemed like the communication seriously stepped up from game number 1. They had a plan in mind. The roles were set. We always saw this gigantic cycle of defense, aggression, defense, neutral, defense, aggression come through. And they had that first and secondary maneuver to make sure whenever they went for a strike, the ball would go in. Now, Milliken, again, they had that first game lead. It's not too late for them. A best of 7 in mind definitely means that 1 game loss, that's okay. This is their chance to take a look back, analyze themselves, and say, okay, you know what? This is how we can fix it up for game number 3.
Absolutely. And as we go into these replays, hopefully that's going to help them take this moment to analyze those things themselves. We're 1-1 right now in a best of 7. This is still anyone's match, but there were quite a few scores to come through from Long Beach Poly in this match.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, the good thing that comes out from Long Beach Poly is that there's not necessarily one superstar player that came out of game number 2. It was a big group effort. And honestly speaking, you can look at competitive gaming in 2 different ways. You have those standout players that are just eons above anybody else, but when you have a really, really well concise team, they can go the distance.
Absolutely. And even if you have some of those like shining players, if you don't have the other players on your team who go really well with those shining star players, you're gonna have those struggle moments. If somebody doesn't have the correct support behind them, they're not going to be able to be that shining star that you're looking for. And I think it's really cool when you start to see that team energy really come together. And that might be what we're seeing from Long Beach Poly as they took that second game.
Well, I think all eyes need to be on Milliken going into game number 3. How can they correct themselves from game 2? They had such a great time around for the first time, but they have a little bit of time to talk things over and figure out, okay, this is how we could possibly dominate from here. We're going to go to a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. 1-1 now, an even series thus far between both of these teams. Long Beach Poly, they had a dominant game number 2, but Milligan, they had a great introductory game going into the beginning of this series. It's been the championship now, but I feel like game number 3 might be a big turnaround.
Absolutely. And I don't know if the people in the audience know what being 1-1 means, but it means you've got to really be loud for your team. Also, it means it's a tie.
I tried.
Let's go right down into our third map and be ready to be loud for your teams, people.
Yeah, who is here for Milligan? Show yourselves! Woo!
There we go. It's weird to say show yourselves when we're wanting people to cheer, but hey, it works.
Oh,
And
they're showing with sound.
there we go. Sure,
They
that
broke the
works.
sound barrier.
And who's here for Long Beach Poly? All right, the cheers have been heard. The people in the audience are waiting for us to get down onto the pitch and see who is going to take the lead in match number 3.
Now, I think it's important to note that we go to different maps does not mean the maps themselves change. They are fundamentally the same, but it's cool to see cool, different designs.
Absolutely. If you're a fan of art, especially art in video games, this is one of those places where those artists are getting paid, being able to design a lot of these different areas that we get to see on the maps in Rocket League. Early demos coming through there, fighting for possession of the ball on Milliken's side of the board, and we're going to see if Poot is going to be able to move that back onto Long Beach's pitch.
Whalehart has been very consistent with having that ball control, but look at this swarm from Milliken. They're making sure that Long Beach Poly will never have an opportunity to hit the ball, and just as I say that, I miss Herrera. They're good at removing that away. This is going to be an open goal, though, for Milliken. They're playing all aggression right now. They want to do whatever they can to guarantee that opening point.
Yeah, so far so good, and we're getting a little bit of a flashback to that first
You're right.
match where we're starting to see this back and forth, and this is the control that we were hoping to see from Milliken early on in that last match as well. So this could be a good sign for them being able to take control of this once again.
Oh, but that's also an open goal there, too. That's going to be incredibly rough. If it's not capitalized on Milligan, though, just in time, they rotate around, they end up saving it. That's huge. Whalehart again, he's been the most consistent and aggressive player here. He's looking to put that pressure against Milligan, make sure that all those players have to play defensive, and that means that team, Milligan, they don't have any control of the map.
Or at least it makes it a whole lot more difficult to get that control. Somber Penguin gonna try and prove us wrong here, really trying to make this a one-man show, but it's gonna be Whalehart securing it back once again. The hit on the goalpost is gonna make that a tense moment, but we still leave this situation goalless.
I love Milliken's strategy going into game number 3. Discombobulate Long Beach Poly as much as humanly possible. Separate them away. That's why we saw the early demos. Make sure this team cannot play together at all costs. The goal here is beyond just getting those points. It's making sure they can break up Long Beach Poly and make things even more difficult for future games. There it is, another demo, but that goes against Milliken. That's going to be huge for Long Beach. They may have a chance to get this first point.
Ooh, but a very nice air there is going to make sure that Poot passes over to Gabe. That demo's going to break this up a lot, leave Poot solo on this side of the board, and that opens the breath for Long Beach to be able to take a nice big gulp of air.
That's 2 demos against Gabe in a row. Long Beach Poly, they know who the scariest player on the team is. At least the one that's been able to achieve the most goals against them. If they can just get rid of Gabe for as much as humanly possible themselves, it's a similar strategy, but it might work! There it is! Beautiful first goal for Long Beach Poly.
A very nice air into that sink. That's what you're looking to see. The setup from the teammate, the sink into that pass. And I miss Herrera is going to try and have Milliken saying, I miss her.
I miss her too. But that's okay. This is the redemption time for Herrera. They can find everything they want. It's up to Gabe now. Again, we mentioned it before. I should be on him. Will it be enough? Oh no. Gabe missed that last goal before. This could be the redemption moment, but the ball is barely in control of Long Beach Poly.
Yeah, this is a moment where Somber Penguin is doing the absolute most, trying to keep that back onto the other side of the board, also able to make a nice shot that covers a lot of ground, but thankfully Milliken is ready, back in a defensive position, and trying to play around this center field and make it anyone's match.
Oh, Poot is putting that pressure on now. There it is, dedicated goalie control now in the hands of Gabe. Very different Milliken than we've seen in the first 2 matches. they have a structure now. That means less players are looking to achieve those goals, but they have that faith in Poot.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a rough situation, trying to keep control, but that little bit of a knock from that other car makes it that much more difficult.
Oh, what
to
is
get
this?
Yourself in a situation.
Poot
to
setting
hit
it up.
That ball. Let's see if the second setup is going to be able to do what we were looking for. The pass to Somber Penguin. We're going to see if we can make another pass back and sink
Poot
this
setting up.
goal. But there's so many Long Beach Poly members there and
Poot.
waiting. Will it be a moment that we get the shot? That goalpost is just so in the way of being able to make these. The vision is there for Milliken. We're just narrowly not being able to sink it.
Oh, Sombra had the setup there. Poot had the call. Let's go for it. But the ball was just too high. And this time, yes, Sombra redeems himself.
Absolutely beautiful. That's the setup. This time it didn't take him 3 times to make it work. This time it only took 2.
Well, that's
Milliken.
because he has the charm.
There we go. You're absolutely right. Milliken, even our score up 1-1. 40 seconds left on the clock, and now we are going to be in a blitz mode for these players. Do we play defensively? Do we play offensively? Do we just look for an opening?
Do we go to overtime, too, is the big question. I could see a reality now where Long Beach Poly, they don't want to play defense anymore. They know they have that pressure control. They've had the majority of the ball control for the entirety of this match. But Somber Penguin, he's been good about finding these opportunities, but no, it just barely misses again. He's setting up. He knows the ball's going to go in so close to the goal. 8 seconds left. They don't want to go to overtime. Whaleheart's down. This is it. Milligan does it again.
A beautiful shot. 3 seconds left on the clock, and that all but shuts the door for Long Beach Poly on this second one, barring a shot in the dark in the middle of the map.
Wow, full-on control from Milliken's side. They have this big brain macro level control where they can coordinate across the entire map. And that's going to be game number 3. Wow, unbelievable.
Yeah, very nicely done from Milliken, behind for most of that match, actually, and with precision and grace, managed to find themselves those 2 more goals that bring them match number 2. These are some tense matches that we're seeing between these 2 teams.
Look, again, we've seen a whole array of different style of matches. We've seen 0-7s. We've seen very close matches. Right now, in terms of the actual gameplay, this has been super tense, and there's a lot to pick apart. I have loved how Milliken have been able to take things apart here, and we're going to see it in the replays too. They want to play farther apart as a team this time, and if they can do it again in each of these matches, as we can see in these replays, they may be able to do much more.
Yeah, taking a peek into these, you are getting to see that spread that you're talking about, that distance, that passing potential between all of these players. And that's one of those things that is where communication really starts to play an absolutely huge role. And that's not something that a lot of people really get to learn in school normally. I mean, if you're not somebody who's out there playing sports, you maybe don't get to learn communication in the same way that a lot of these kids now get to in esports.
Yeah, and I mean, look, there's always tense emotions too. It's about how do we regulate that? How do we communicate with each other? Make sure, you know what? I understand. I got you. We're going to win this.
And I do want to give props to Milliken as well. It gets that much more hard to communicate when you're down a point. So being able to kind of work through those moments where you're at a disadvantage, but then still able to communicate and be able to then push forward into a win is extremely inspiring. And I'm looking forward to seeing more inspiring plays from these players after this break.
For the majority of that last game, it seemed like Long Beach Poly had it under control, but the very last second, Milliken stole it away. Now, the big question is, can they keep the ball quite literally rolling?
We will see. We're ready to go to Utopia Dusk for match number 4. And I will say, while we do now see Milliken in the lead, Long Beach Poly's coach did tell me that his kids really have been trying to take this seriously, really get into a place where they are learning from their mistakes and taking this seriously. So I'm looking forward to another tense match as Long Beach Poly really tries to show their stuff and get this back to an even match.
And you know what, on a personal note too, I think that's one of the most important things about esports is being able to take this vacuum of knowledge and the mistakes that you can make, learn how to correct yourself, adapt, and become a better player or a better person in the process. You don't get that anywhere else.
It's really true, and as we get into the kerfuffles of this match, we are starting to see a lot of defensive strategies coming through from Milliken, kind of forced on by the aggression that Long Beach Poly is pursuing here. Woso's going to try and see if we can get into a position to play passing with Whaleheart here, but it ends up just trying to see if they can get repossession of the ball here.
I like what Milliken was doing in the beginning, full on defense. They know they have the series lead, so they want to delay their time for achieving any goals at all on this match. The longer they can stall, the longer they can wait, means that they may have a chance to get at least one goal this game and just delay the time to make sure Long Beach never gets one. Does it work? Does it work? Does it work? Where's the defense? It's gone. There it is on top the backboard. Imus Herrera is trying to set up, but they're swarming the ball from Milliken's side. They're making sure, no. We are going to make this side of ours a fortress.
Absolutely, trying to swim with that ball for as long as possible, but Milliken is trying to make sure that this sinks into their possession. Imus Herrera is going to try and see if we can get this pass to go through, but it's a little bit too difficult when you have all 3 players of Milliken trying to shut it down. The back and forth here on Milliken's side of the board is looking a little bit stressful, but Long Beach Poly are trying their best to set this up, but just going a little bit too high. The goalpost is their enemy, and will Milliken be able to continue to stop this onslaught?
You're right, it is stressful, Becky. It's so much pressure being applied to Milliken, but the defense is completely null and void for Long Beach Poly. All it takes is one great shot back after attempting to go for the goal that Milliken can use to bring the goal back. For another save!
A save indeed. Poot making sure that one is not to worry for Milliken, but the pressure is not leaving here. Poot's going to start to push it back towards the other side of the field, but Long Beach Poly is laying in wait.
That's right. Yeah, but look at this, though. Long Beach Poly, they're not being nearly as aggressive as before. They recognize the ebb and flow of a matchup like this. 2 minutes and 20 seconds left. This is the time now that Milliken, they want to go for the aggression. They have the opportunity. There's a defense there now from Long Beach Poly. But Poot, he's been able to find these angles before. This pressure, it might be enough for the first goal.
Narrowly too far, but it is going to go right to some of those other players before going into the clutches of Whaleheart, who tries to run down the whole field. But now it's going right back the way we just came to play defense.
Look, both of these teams recognize what each other's doing. They are playing the stall game amazingly. It's Milliken again.
And Poot, right place, right time. Gabe trying to make sure that we're playing a little bit of a distraction to allow for that high shot to come through. Poot secures the first point to Milliken's side.
But remember, Milliken's entire strategy is to delay any scores at all. If they can just play defense for the rest of the game and not even attempt to go for a goal, they might be able to run out the clock with a single point.
Absolutely, that is certainly something that they can make an attempt to do, but it seems like they're maybe not playing super defensive as this push back towards Long Beach's side of the field leaves Gabe trying to make things happen in a one-man show, but that is pretty difficult to do.
Makes me really nervous, Becky. A near open goal. Gabe is there to save the day.
Yeah, I'm able to move quickly across that board, right place, to make sure that this is not going to be a score secured for Long Beach. Whaleheart's going to try and set this up into a position where that teammate can go for that shot. And it just narrowly keeps not going Long Beach Poly's way. With a minute left on the clock, They've got to really work on these setups, but Milliken is just doing such a great job of playing this defensive board.
Oh, look how far away that ball is from any of the goals. Sure, it might be close to Milliken's side, but again, the stalwart defense coming through has been huge. Wasso's there, laying that pressure on. But again, Milliken, they want to make sure this is the only goal at all for Game 4.
Yeah, 30 seconds left. The pressure slowly creeping onto Long Beach. Whaleheart trying to
Oh.
that setup is there. Woso tries to get in there, but that demolition is going to make things that much more difficult. Those minuscule seconds are so precious when you're down a point, when there's 10 seconds left. And Whaleheart's going to try and go for that shot, but quickly being shut down by Somber Penguin.
3, 2, 1. The only goal for game number 4.
Oh, but the airtime is hovering. Somber Penguin, though, making sure that this goal will not come through. And Milliken secure themselves their third point.
Got really scary towards the mid-game there. Milliken, they tunnel vision. They wanted to get that second goal. They dialed themselves back and said, you know what? No. We have been a great defensive team all throughout the first, minute or so? And, a minute seems forever when you're playing Rocket League. You're not thinking about time. And it's like, okay, no, we got to go back to our OG strategy. Make sure there's never a chance we get demoed, never a chance that we're out of position to make sure Long Beach Poly can't even it up.
Yeah, and it gets so difficult, those demolitions, when they happen and you have those resets. You're being taken out of your position that is trying to help the rest of the team. And that was just such a tense moment that we got to see with some of those final demolitions. I thought we were going to see Milliken get scored on, but that defense really, as you mentioned, came through extremely strong and puts us in a 3-1.
I mean, look, you can look at the replays here. Things are getting a little scary now. A best of 7, remember that. Long Beach Poly, this is their time. They need to readjust their strategies. And you know what? We saw glimmers of hope towards the very end of that last game. Taking advantage of the demos, making sure you could discombobulate a little bit more of Milliken, make it a 3v2, maybe their chance of victory.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting to see these matches get closer and closer. Like, those first two were really crazy, and the one where we did see Long Beach take on, they got so many points. So now, going into this next one, it's just a question of, are we going to see that really explosive gameplay from Long Beach Poly again, like when they were able to take a match home? Or are we going to see Milliken really kind of push this defensive strategy that you've been talking about, see another close game that makes it tense and brings the trophy home with them?
It's hard to say, right? We need to see a big change to come through, but again, there's a little bit of time to reconvene with your team and maybe change things up. We're gonna go to a small break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. This could very well be the last matchup, a best of 7 of Rocket League, and it just goes by so quick. These games are so small, so condensed, and so much energy and emotion is packed into this. Now imagine a world where more and more players start playing more Rocket League, introduced into schools, and we could see these players illuminate into maybe some of the top tier players in the world.
Absolutely. And on top of that, we just want to give a big thank you for this being this district's first time running this esports tournament. It's so cool to see this become accessible to students on a way that they get to compete against other schools the same way sports do. And with that, we're going to be going into match number 5. Will Long Beach be able to bring things back, have another explosive match, or will this go Milliken's way? So far, that's looking a little bit scary. A quick kickoff goes right down the board. I thought that was going to be a goalpost shot, but it sinks for Milliken.
Now, look, I'm sure there's some geometry fanatics in the audience here. They're going to pull out their protractors and say, the perfect angle. But, I mean, that kickoff goal might be all you need. That could be the finisher right there. We saw Milliken's strategy already. They like to play that defense. Long Beach, though, again, remember, they capitalized a lot on demos. They can bring things to a 3v2 so easily and lay that pressure on. That pressure's already out now. Somber Penguins playing that defense.
Yeah, and it looks like Whaleheart trying to go for one of those airtime shots, but it's not quite going to be able to go through. Somber Penguin also trying to play that defense, but just a little bit too slow on that pop-up. And I Miss Herrera is going to make this a quick, even match. And hey, we know how the last match that started off this way went.
That's right. It went into overtime, and we had to wait quite a while before that next goal to end the game came through. Great kickoff! There was no opposition. Long Beach, they waited purposely for the ball to go so much farther. Just so, in theory, Milliken, they wouldn't be available for the goal.
Yeah, I mean, that's quite a lot of momentum that has been built up here. Quickly stopped by that demolition. Give a little bit of breathing room to these players. Center stage here before Whaleheart takes a shot. It's going to be a little bit too high, but will that second one be able to come through? It sure will. And Whaleheart with I Miss Herrera on that final goal are going to be the dynamic duo that puts Long Beach Poly at 2-1.
Great way of mentioning the dynamic duo there, Becky, because that's exactly what it is. It's being able to play so quickly, microseconds off of each other, finding opportunities for those perfect angles. And now that we're seeing this aggression, this constant pressure that Long Beach have attempted to employ these last few games finally pay off, there's a very good chance we could go to Game 7.
Absolutely. I mean, I'd love to see it. I'm loving how close these matches have been and this back and forth between these two teams. I Miss Herrera. We're going to see if we're going to see that same level of setup this time around, or if the defensive strategies of Milliken are going to be enough to finally shut down this gameplay.
Now, fun fact, Rocket League does have a robust competitive scene as well. You'll notice one of the players, I believe it's I Miss Herrera, actually is sporting one of the top competitive teams in the world as the decals of their car.
It is really cool to see. I mean, we were talking with players before this entire night started about some of these top teams and seeing that they're also at home watching this high-level gameplay, and it's a lot like studying.
Yeah.
And it's cool to see that level of dedication and that kind of training is coming into play for a lot of these students.
We have had to do a lot of studying in our careers.
Oh, absolutely.
Way too much studying. But you know what? That's okay. This is a fun kind of study, and we get to see Long Beach Poly apply that pressure even more. They are looking to find full map control now. Boxes, however, Gabe, he may be able to do something. He's got to be the one to solidify them and put it away, and this looks like Russell might have a good opportunity. But Milliken, they've been really good about stealing this ball.
Absolutely, and a lot of defensive power coming through from Long Beach there. It was just looking down a sea of orange from Milliken's side, making it seem like it's going to be very difficult for them to be able to catch a goal. That demo might be the opening that they need. Gabe's going to try and make this shot, but there's so much defense coming through. A close one there for Milliken, and we're going to see if we can get this set up right back rolling.
2 minutes left on the clock, and Long Beach Poly, they've cleaned up their mistakes from the last two games. This could be their chance. Oh, no! Just barely off. Long Beach Poly, they love to go for these long-range hits of the ball from across the entire stadium. It's something that catches Milliken off guard. It forces one defender to be on the goalpost at all times. Less people to go for a goal up close to Long Beach Poly. And it's a great strategy. They've been able to get 1 point above because of that alone.
Oh, very close there from downtown. The shots almost coming through into Milliken's goal and putting Long Beach even further ahead. But this rebuttal that's coming through is going to force those orange players back to their own side of the board, back to playing defense. And we are just making these long-range hits back and forth. And it's a quick swing around from my Miss Herrera is going to keep us on the edge of our seats.
Oh, Sabra almost had a career-defining moment right there. That would have been wild. I don't think I've ever seen a shot like that before, but unfortunately, not enough though. Poop has a great opportunity as well. That could be a miss. No, Whalehart, perfect timing to defend the ball away.
All right, a minute left on the clock. Milliken has the pressure on their shoulders here. The moment that they're waiting for, get themselves one more goal, push us into overtime, and take home the trophy. Long Beach, the name of the game is defense. The name of the game is stop Milliken from bringing us into OT. 35 and counting down.
This is where things get tense. Milliken, they have to forego the defenses completely. They have to make sure they can get the ball in!
And Somber Penguin coming in strong. We talked about a dynamic duo from the side of Long Beach Poly, but how about that Gabe and Somber Penguin duo there? Milliken even us up 2-2, 28 seconds. Are we going into overtime, or is someone securing it now?
Oh!
Nice shot comes through from Whaleheart. And I thought we were going to have a very tense set into overtime, but it looks like Whaleheart is trying to close the door as quickly as possible.
A little bit of redemption after what happened at the initial kickoff goal in this matchup here. But now, 24 seconds left. Normally you would think this is going to be Long Beach Poly's game, but we've seen some heroics before. Gabe, he's been so consistent about getting these goals. Somber Penguin, all the same, they're teaming up. Is it the angle? Oh, it almost was.
A very close shot. 7 seconds. That airtime is going to make this so much more difficult. A lot of pressure put on Long Beach's side. Is that going to be enough? The goalpost comes through, and Long Beach Poly keep themselves in this series.
It is by a hair that we're seeing these teams outperform each other between different games. There is no better team. They're equal. They're performing so well on a big brain basis and to the smallest small plays that you could possibly see. These are all players with the right training and the right setting and enough time playing through where they could have really illuminous careers.
Yeah, and this is kind of my favorite part of the tournament. The moment that I'm able to look to my left and my right and see players conversing, trying to figure out what is the change, where are we going from here? Is it going to be a strategy that allows Milliken to lock this down, or are we going to see Long Beach make another amazing comeback match? Let's take a look at some of these replays and see if we can dissect some of it ourselves.
Absolutely. Let's get our magnifying glasses on here. A really good opportunity. I do like this from Herrera, and I get a lot of this is just the defense being a little bit weaker from Milliken's side. We saw an excellent one in game number 3. It was beautiful, making sure they could read the ball from so far away, defend it, reshoot it back towards the midfield, but even then, the capitalization wasn't necessarily there. These are all missed opportunities from Milliken, but we've seen them have that turnaround too. That's the number one thing they're going to be focusing on into this next game is, okay, you know what? I think we may have to have that dynamic duo of Somber and Gabe just be all the way towards Long Beach's goal, but we gotta have Poop be that goalie. He's been so good at it.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those places where you are wondering, is actual soccer skill going to be able to be woven into something like Rocket League? You are playing with a lot less players, but you take up a lot more space. And you're a lot faster. I don't know about you, but I could not run across the soccer field the way that these cars are able to move it.
Well, speak for yourself.
All right, I'd like to see you try after this. We're going to the soccer field after this.
I'm down. I'm wearing the perfect pants for this, I suppose. Perfect outfit.
All right, we are having a little bit of a tech pause, trying to make sure that everything is set up perfectly for our players before going into this next match, because I don't know about you, but when the games are as tense as this, you got to make sure that everything is in the perfect place.
Yeah, I mean, look, anything could go wrong when it comes to hardware and equipment at times, but you know what? When you have really good equipment too, it happens a whole lot less, but it happens. That is the life of esports sometimes, and besides, it can happen too in real sports as well, but that's okay, because if Long Beach Poly do win this game, we return to an even series.
And we go to match number 7, which would be the first time that we've actually cast a match number 7 in our Rocket League careers.
Huh. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay. But you know what? It can't just be us, though. This calls for a very special celebration. We need all of you to cheer for your schools.
All right, everybody. Once again, if you're cheering for Milliken, let's hear it. Are they going to take this series home right here, right now? All right, Long Beach Poly, I know y'all can't take that sitting down, so are you going to be able to come back and bring us into match number 7?
Woo! Ooh, it's fierce. It sounds
It's
about
fierce.
even out there. Now, keep in mind, this is the home team of Milliken, too. So, okay, interesting. We have so many Long Beach Poly people here. This is going to be a rivalry that could exist for a long time to come, and this is how it all builds up.
This is exactly how it all builds up, and a quick collision doesn't go very far, but the possession does go into Milliken's hands, or hood of their cars to start
I
things off.
suppose. Now, remember, Milliken were able to capitalize quite literally off of that initial kickoff goal, but this actually starts with a demo. That's huge amounts of oppression coming out from Whalehart. He has been such a flexible player this entire series, but now, the goalie's gone. Now you're forcing your most aggressive players to play in an uncomfortable role. This is great. Long Beach Poly could get the first goal.
Oh, but that downward angle just doesn't quite work out for Whalehart. We're going to see if Imus Herrera is going to be able to get this setup back into possession of that striker, but narrowly not going to be able to make it happen. As Milliken, you've highlighted it time and time again, that defensive power is coming through strong.
Yeah, defensive power now. You gotta make sure you ensure that first goal before you can truly show off the fortification. Oh, a save again. Poot was so close, but the angles were there. Somber Penguin may have the capitalization, but no, it's all lowercase.
Oh, we're trying to go back and forth between every single one of these players, but the door is being shut by Long Beach Poly over and over again. Somber Penguin now fighting for possession of the ball here, but it's going to be a quick little bit of airtime and back to the center of the field.
Oh, Imus Herrera just barely missing the ball. That sends it a spike downwards. But Whalehart, a great save. Made sure the ball off of that miss could not get anywhere near their own goal. That was close.
A very close shot, almost sinks for Woso, but it's not narrowly able to happen there. We almost saw that first goal going Long Beach Poly's way. We're seeing the fire in these players, but now the pressure is on. Are we going to be making diamonds here? If we are, it's for Milliken.
Illuminous plays coming out from Milliken right at the beginning of the year. A bit of an awkward goal, I suppose, but you take them as they come.
Oh, absolutely. It doesn't matter how awkward it is, as long as that point goes on my
That's true.
side of the board, I don't care.
Oh, but let's see. The kickoff king might be able to do it again. Oh, Whalehart, no. But it does go in the court of Long Beach Poly. Who is there now? No longer the goalie, looking to help with that capitalization. Not quite the case, though. Somber Penguin with the side retreat. And this is really good for Long Beach.
That's a shot.
Never
that we
mind.
need. It sure is. The long con, the shot, the loop around. I mean, we saw Poot on the complete opposite side do a beautiful little hairpin turn and come in for the perfect shot there, not letting that pressure fall.
Really now, Long Beach Poly, they need to make this kickoff count. Oh, Somber Penguin, oh, look at that, going straight into the goal. A demo is out, taking one player away. Milliken, they have a plan now. They can be down by 1, but they still want to go for the aggress. Oh, also, no. Can't quite find it just yet, but there's no goalie on the side of Milliken. They know they have that buffer remove at least 1 point.
Yeah, that was such a good level of aggression. So close on multiple of those shots. I mean, some of them as awkward as what we just saw. But again, it doesn't matter. If the awkward shots are the ones that count, you'll take them every single chance you can get.
Oh, there's no one there.
But no, as you mentioned, nobody there. Unfortunately, we're
Wasso!
moving along. We'll also be able to set this up for Imus Herrera. We're trying to center this ball once again. But it looks like we're just going to have to hand possession back over to Milliken for a little bit. Go for this reset and take this one more step at a time.
Oh, great demo there. I think that was accidental too. Gabe is now out for the count for just a few seconds, but that might be just enough for Wasso to get the setup. There needs to be more. No, Whalehart, this could be a long-range goal, but you have to get the perfect angle. Where's the follow-up? There he is. It's back to Gabe. But here we are. Now you can see the communication from Long Beach Poly come through. They're looking to find a way to kick the ball around to each other to get the right way to go in. But guess who's there to disrupt it all? That's Gabe.
Yeah, and so far, so good. The disruption is coming through. We've got the ball back on Boots Hood. And that's been the heavy scorer for the side of Milliken so
Game's
far.
down.
Get that reset, as you mentioned. Will this be the opening that Long Beach needs?
spike!
Whalehart goes for it and finds a point. A minute left. A shot in the dark for Long Beach to bring us in to that match number 7.
These matches are so chaotic, but when you watch the players and how far away they can be from their teammates, you recognize that they are communicating to swing the ball to each other. They called out that Whalehart needed to go for that spike. Wasso again went deep into the goal of Milligan, but now Whalehart's there to call, hey, someone needs to take this ball. We got the demo. This is our chance to tie it up.
Absolutely the chance, trying to go for that knock-up. Woso's going to try and go for it once again, but the possession back into Milliken's hands. Poot's going to try and bring that pressure back onto that orange side of the field, but it is just such a back and forth here.
40 seconds now, less than that to stay into this series. Wasso, they have to find this goal right now.
All right, 30 seconds remaining. Imus Herrera trying to go for that airtime. That save coming in from Gabe keeps this with the pressure on the Long Beach's shoulders. Imus Herrera trying to put that back onto Milliken's side of the board, trying to keep giving themselves a chance. But with 10 seconds left, Whaleheart, you have to get set it up for Woso. Even the score at 2-2.
I'm not saying it's impossible, but there is a chance with 6 seconds left, one of these teams could score a goal. And for Milliken, that means victory over the entire series. And for Long Beach Poly, it means bringing things to an even series, and we go to Game 7.
All right, 2 seconds left. That airtime is only going to hover for but a moment. Oh, I said but a moment, but it's lasting as a long second before crashing us into overtime. As you mentioned, that timer is only going to go up. The aggression is going to come in full force from both of these teams. Will we be seeing a Game 7, or will Milliken shut the door here?
All eyes are on Wasso right now. They've been the most dominant player in this game when it matters most. Here he is again. He has the right angle, and everyone from Milliken is swarming the ball, but no one's holding the goal.
Oh, is this the moment that Somber Penguin runs away with the match, trying to get this setup in place, but Imus Herrera comes in with the steal.
Where's the follow-up? Where's the follow-up from Long Beach? It's needed.
Unfortunately, it's not there. The fall of the ball goes right into the hands of Milliken. The demolition is going to stop that train from rolling, and we're back on the Milliken side of the board, but nobody is there. Nobody is able to make it through that defensive power of Milliken.
The game will not end until one team hits a goal. We've seen how long it will take. The ball misses the goal, and so does Long Beach. A great mistake to come through. Could keep them in the series.
Both players from Milliken not able to get that ricochet into their favor. Somber Penguin's going to go for this setup once again, trying to get it through. All 3 players from Long Beach pull it out and try to go for that save.
A minute and 30 now into overtime. Still no leads coming up from either team. The stakes are so high for this championship. They fought and they have battled so many other teams and districts. This is their chance to possibly see who the champion could be.
The first ever champion for this district as well. So much is on the line for these players. That defense from Milliken stopping the ball short. It's on Long Beach's side of the board. Is this airtime going to be the setup that they need? Unfortunately, nobody else is there from Milliken. And it's a push back onto the blue side of the board. A quick back and forth. Somber Penguin from downtown comes in for the save again. We're seeing some crazy back and forth. This is a duel for the ages.
It's open. The goal is open. The swipe is there. Wasso, the follow-up. There it is. Gabe, he's back once again. Ball's back into the midcourt once more. Wasso's there for the goal. He has the setup. He's got his own follow-up. It's stolen. Whalehart, it's open. No!
The craziest part about this is you know that this fire has been in every single one of these players for every single moment of this match, and it's coming out here and now.
Almost 3 minutes now into overtime, nearly the length of a full-on game. Neither one of these teams have been able to achieve a goal.
Poot getting that set up. It is going back to Milliken's side, but that is where the rest of the team is. And is that going to be the
Stolen
setup that they need? You said it, stolen. Gabe has it for a moment, but it's going to be defensive shot after defensive shot trying to stop Long Beach as the back and forth continues here.
It's a mental endurance now. Which team will tire out first? This energy, as you mentioned, Becky, the fire in them has rained on for so long. It comes so close and yet so far at the same time. Nearly now 3.5 minutes. Who had the ball? Gabe wasn't able to follow up. Now it's in nobody's possession.
All right, it's going to be a shot back. Gabe, unfortunately, not in the position to make that geometric shot. It's just a fight for possession once again in this moment. Boot's going to be able to take that little bit of a shot.
Whoa!
And it's going to be a full defensive push. Whaleheart from the long side of the map brings us to game number 7.
We have gone now to all the possible games we could have in this championship series. When it comes to competitive gaming, when it comes to any competition, really, this is what you want to see. This is ferocious. These teams are even. It is not one team now better than the other. It's how can we outplay the other team, and that is the most competitive aspect you'd ask for when it comes to esports.
And I gotta give it to all y'all here too. I'm loving the energy that is in this crowd. I'm loving the cheering that we're hearing, and that's why we're going into a match number 7. Woo, let's take a look at some replays. I mean, I'm almost breathless.
The whole match was replayed.
Absolutely. I mean, normally our producer gives us a little bit of like a little time check of how long we're gonna have for replays, and I'm ready for it to be like 5 minutes.
Yeah, we'll be here all night. It's all good. That's okay. I mean, honestly, it's worth it. Where to break down this last match, right? Because there's so many intricate parts. It's like a gigantic clock. And now a clock that has so many small gears inside. It really just came down to great opportunities to sneak a ball in or capitalizing off the tiniest of mistakes. Look at this. The ball just barely connecting. It goes behind Gabe. That's something you can't account for. It's something now where you have to hype up your teams. This is why you come to represent your school. This is why you come to cheer. And this is why a team like Milliken now are coming up with their strats. They're figuring out how to coordinate as a team. This is what you learn from esports. You work together, and you don't get that anywhere else.
It's really true. It's beautiful to see. I'm so hyped that we're going into a match number 7. I mean, you said it. That was one of those moments where we were really starting to see prowess from both teams. Moments where it was just who is going to slip up first, who's going to make the first mistake, and are we going to be able to capitalize? I mean, the tense moments, the tense talks on both sides of the stage here. And I mean, this is also one of those things that makes good friends, good teammates for life.
Absolutely. First of hopefully many championships to come. A rivalry now beginning and brewing before our eyes. Hopefully, maybe next year, we could see these teams return again for the championships to reclaim the throne, depending if they win or unfortunately go out in second place.
It is going to be a tense match, I'm sure. I mean, if I said that we were seeing fire from both of these teams in the last match, I can't imagine what kind of heat is going to be in here for game number 7. Let me remind you what these teams are playing for. They're playing for the trophy that you can see on the stage. They're playing for the commemorative ring that is custom, and those gaming accessories from SteelSeries. I mean, I would have killed for this kind of thing when I was in high school.
Speak for yourself. I want the Lollipop.
You're right. They get a Lollipop as well, courtesy of Lollipop Labs.
Oh, one of the best around here, helping us set up these amazing esports tournaments all throughout this part of California. And so many schools are benefiting from this so much. And you know what? I really hope this is the genesis of something to come, where 10, 20, 100 years from now, we could have a whole much more games to come through when it comes to esports.
Absolutely, and I know that you all are just anxious as we are. So, fittingly, we're going to be going on to Champions Field for our final match of the evening. Let's cheer one more time. Is it going to be Milliken to bring this home team advantage, or will we be seeing Long Beach Poly with the recovery, with the save, come back from behind?
The biggest tournament that any of these players have ever played in thus far. This is their chance now to show all the grinding that they have done, all the studying, playing together, the practices that they've had up to this moment. Not to mention, too, the championship, the round robin they've had to face against other schools to knock them out of this competition, to bring it home here.
All right, kickoff is going to have a quick start, pushed onto Milliken's side of the board. Whaleheart's going to go for that air and try to make a quick show of it, but once again, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention that defensive Milliken power.
Absolutely. Now keep in mind, Whaleheart, the youngest player in this entire matchup here. The highest possible in-game rank you could possibly be in this game. And remember, this game is played by millions.
Millions of people, has been around for a very long time, and has so many people watching its competitive scene.
Now look, I'm sure we have a lot of math people in here. It's a school after all. That is around the top 0.01% of players that play this game. Again, out of millions.
Out of millions, and a quick demo to come through there. Once again, seeing a little bit of a slow start from both of these teams, an absolute dogpile onto the ball there, but hey, we're all clamoring for that trophy. We're all trying our best to get the shot at this championship.
A full minute now flushed out. Off the kickoff, no one achieving a goal. In fact, it hasn't even come close to scoring a goal just yet. The ball has almost entirely remained neutral within the field.
Absolutely, but a quick push, a shot at the goal, a quick ricochet, trying to make sure that we're able to start this off strong for Long Beach, but it narrowly isn't able to come through. That demolition kind of tearing apart what Long Beach was trying to make happen. And once again, Milliken, defense.
That's right. I mean, look, the Milliken defense, something that will be in chess books to come when it comes to this game and strategies. A huge demo procedure, something that Long Beach Poly have capitalized on every single matchup thus far. We haven't seen a whole lot of them really take advantage of in this final game, but we're seeing those goals score closer. This has been an even aggression-defense ratio for both teams. A good save, though. Poot wasn't able to follow up. There was no goalie there for Long Beach. It was an open net, and yet the ball still remains neutral.
Yeah, but I mean, I gotta give it to Poot. I love being able to decide, this just isn't the shot that's gonna line up for me. I'm gonna go ahead and reposition myself now and kind of play one step ahead of my opponents.
I mean, Poot has been a demon thus far, and just keeping the ball close. Ooh. And look, if it's gonna get close in this game specifically, it's gonna be Poot. He has been looming like the boogeyman around that goal.
And now it's going to be a little bit of a setup from Gabe. Poot's going to try and push back onto that pressured side, but it's not quite going to be the setup that they're looking for to really sink this. Gabe also holding back. I love this decision to kind of capitalize on places where Milliken has had a lot of success before. They had a lot of shots in those early matches come from just playing really defensive and taking long shots, catching Long Beach off guard. And they're just trying to play this game with that strength and trying to find their openings because that's where they've had success.
Milliken is cutting the field in half. They're setting Gabe up in neutral, waiting for the ball to hit the backboard, knowing football can't be a straight shot, and then chasing it back over with a single hit. This is it though. Poot, Somber, he's been the middleman. Is it possible? Oh, it's so close and yet so far at the same time. But look at the reset now. They have a plan from Milliken's side. The home team, they know exactly where they need to place themselves. They're playing purely for the counterplay.
Yeah, tense moment here. A lot of defense coming in from that blue side, trying to make sure that Whaleheart is not able to get that sink in. A set of stars crossing in the night as we're almost a minute left in this match and no score to come through yet.
I mean, we could go to overtime, going 0-0. A single score could define the very last game of this championship.
I mean, if there's any way for it to end, this feels like a fitting way for it to go. Repossession going into the hands of Kate. That goal is open, and it's a roll-in for Milliken.
The Milliken special, always finding a way to sneak that first goal in under the noses of Long Beach Poly. Taking advantage of the fact that this team, again, once more, tunnel visioning, swarming the ball, making sure it never leaves the goalpost at Milliken. All it takes is one little area of gap to find your way through.
But I will say, this is one of those places where I think Long Beach kind of thrives. They
Yes.
thrive with the heat under them, feeling that fire, feeling that pressure. But maybe the pressure is starting to be too much as a pop-up from Poot comes in smooth to get Milliken 2 with 40 seconds left on the clock.
And that is the macro level play that we're seeing from Milliken now. Have Poot be the striker now. Gabe and Somber taking a little bit of a backseat here, playing for that mid-range goalie. They don't want to play necessarily up against the goal.
Oh my
3!
goodness.
That's 3 for Poot!
3 for Poot, 3 for Milliken, and 30 seconds left on the clock. Long Beach, I said that they need the fire. They're going to be looking like the city of Pompeii if they don't ask fast.
Volcanic. And Milliken, Poot especially, has been so good with this direct counterplay, escaping Long Beach Poly. Now this is a tough ask. 30 seconds left. 3 goals minimum needed for Long Beach Poly in order to bring it to overtime.
I mean, hey, if we're able to just sink one real quick and then make some long, quick kickoff shots, it's certainly possible. But as that time gets lower and lower, that slowly starts to wink out of existence.
7 seconds left now. Countdown with us. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Milliken is Archer! Okay.
0 left. Whaleheart with the vanity score to come through. I believe we'll get to see a little kickoff, but it certainly will not last very long. We won't even go to that kickoff. It is Milliken who are going to be your victors in all 7 matches, the ones to bring home the trophy.
Milliken, a consistent team. Listen to the cheers. Everyone cheering for Milliken now. A hard-fought victory through and through. A team that has worked unbelievably hard over their time of being in this championship. From the bottom now to the top. This is the beginning of what could very well be, Becky, a huge dynasty of the team.
I mean, I look forward to seeing what they're going to bring next year. I look forward to, as you mentioned, a rivalry blooming between these two teams. I mean, we got to see one of the most tense matches of a Rocket League championship that you and I have ever seen. And I'm looking forward to that same fire coming in next year.
I mean, look, the first of hopefully many of these championships to come. Next year, it could be different schools. It could be different players. It could be a whole lot of different things. But of course, there's always good sportsmanship when it comes to esports.
As we get to see these players shaking hands, end of a hard-fought series. I mean, my hands are sweating and I wasn't even playing. So.
Oh, yeah, same.
But you still got to
My
get
brain's
those, you still got to get those handshakes in. I mean, a very hard-fought battle. When we had Long Beach Poly's coach tell us that his kids came to play, came to show their stuff, they weren't kidding.
Ooh, all the more reason for the next year to grind and work hard. And of course, grind and work hard in their studies too, to make their brains even bigger, to make themselves a comeback possibly once more. And of course, that's the end for us tonight. We've had a great time here tonight. You know, if you have Twitter, social media, you always follow us down below. But for us, that's it for us tonight. And we'll see you, hopefully, next championship.